whatever you've built right now, 50,000, 100,000, maybe even more, you are 1, 2, 3, 4 decisions away from losing control of every bit of it. Because crossing into real money changes the game entirely. You stop being the person trying to just survive, and you become someone facing 4 specific decisions. 4 decisions most people never even see coming because nobody warns you they exist. Get these 4 decisions in the wrong order, and it will not even matter how many years of discipline it took to save up that number. It will be gone, fast, and without warning. What you're about to learn isn't some random finance theory or a generic Bible lesson. The lack of this exact knowledge wiped out an entire family in a single day, a mother and her 2 children. This account is well documented in the Bible, but by the end of this video, the scale gets a lot bigger than one family. It goes all the way up to an entire nation's financial future wiped out. Because long before financial advisors existed, the Bible had already laid out the exact order these 4 decisions must happen in, especially when you exceed your first 100k and above. And it spelled out in brutal details what happened to people who want financial growth but neglect these decisions. So let's start with the very first thing standing between you and multiplying or losing what you have. So picture a small cut on your hand, barely anything. You're busy, so you ignore it. But a cut like that doesn't just sit there quietly. Left untreated, it gets infected. An infection spreads. Hour by hour, it multiplies under your skin until what started as nothing is now poisoning your entire bloodstream. That is exactly what high interest debt does to your money. It's not a cost that just sits there. It's an infection, actively spreading, actively multiplying, getting worse every single time you leave it unchecked. And here's how far that infection can actually spread. Carry just $8,000 in credit card debt, making only the minimum payment, and it can take close to 20 years to fully clear it out of your system. And by the time it's gone, the interest alone, that is just the cost of letting it spread the entire time, would have cost you more than double what you originally borrowed. Before you can build anything, muscle, a business, wealth, you first have to stop the infection. Because it doesn't matter where you live or what it's called in your country, a credit card in one country, a payday loan in another, an overdraft fee, an informal lender charging whatever they want. They are all versions of debt multiplying inside your finances faster than any immune system you could build strong enough to fight it off. And in the book of 2 Kings, a widow comes to the prophet Elisha, panicking. Her husband is dead. He died owing money, and now the creditor is coming to take her 2 sons as slaves to pay off the balance. But what did her husband do with the money he borrowed while he was alive? Gamble it away? Blow it on things he couldn't afford? No. He fed his family. That's it. That's the entire crime. He borrowed the money to put food on the table during a hard season, and he paid the price with his own children. The book of Proverbs already explained why centuries before this widow crisis in just 6 words. The borrower is slave to the lender. That is not poetry. It's the exact law that took her sons. It doesn't matter what century, what country, the mechanism is identical. Whatever is charging you the most doesn't care how good your reason is for borrowing. It just compounds silently until it owns more of your future than you do. It's called the slave clause. Whatever is charging you the most owns you first. Here's how fast debt and compounding work. A king is shown a new game, chess for the first time. He loves it so much. He tells the inventor, name your reward, anything. The inventor asks for something tiny, 1 grain of wheat on the first square, 2 on the second, 4 on the third. Just keep doubling it all the way to square 64. The king laughs in his face. That's the whole reward? A few grains of wheat? Yes, done. Bring him his wheat. Halfway through the board, it's just a few sacks, nothing, a joke. Then comes the last square, and the king's treasurer runs in, pale, shaking. The number isn't sacks anymore, Your Highness. It's over 18 quadrillion grains, more wheat than humanity has grown in hundreds of years combined. And they were only just 64 squares. Nobody saw it coming. That's the whole point. Doubling looks like nothing until it becomes unstoppable. And that's not just an old story. That's your credit card, your debt, right now, doubling in the dark while you make the minimum payment and tell yourself you're being responsible. So let's say, for instance, you kill it. You climb out, the doubling stop. Here's the part almost nobody warns you about. You're still not safe. You are exposed in a completely new way, because now, for the first time, money is actually piling up. And a pile of money with nothing guarding it is exactly what one bad month can wipe out completely. Jesus tells a story about 10 women waiting for a wedding. 5 bring extra oil for their lamps. 5 don't. The groom is delayed. By the time he finally arrives at midnight, the 5 without oil have to run out to buy more. And while they are gone, the door closes on them. But the book of Proverbs had already warned them what to do instead. Go to the ant. You who are lazy. She has no one telling her what to do. And yet, she stores up food in summer, ready before she ever needs it.
So, how many people today are exactly like those 5 women? No oil, no reserve, one bad month away from a locked door. A Gallup and World Bank study covering over 150 countries found out the answer.
Only 36% of adults worldwide managed to save any money at all in the past year. Across almost every country on earth, roughly 2 out of 3 adults are living exactly like those 5 women right now. Call this the extra oil rule. Build the reserve while things are calm. So the emergency is an inconvenience instead of a locked door. So let's say the debt is dead, the reserve is built. Most people stop right here and call it a win. But solving these 2 problems alone doesn't retire you from the game. It just promotes you to a harder one. Because now there's actual surplus sitting under your name. Real money beyond what the emergency fund needs. And surplus does something strange to a person. It makes you impatient. It makes you want to throw all of it at one exciting opportunity right now, instead of spreading it out. In 2001, a company called Enron collapsed. Thousands of its employees had over 60% of their retirement savings in one single place, their own company's stock. It felt safe because it was familiar. When the stock lost almost all of its value in a matter of weeks, those thousands of people lost close to $1 billion overnight. But that's not even all. In 1952, an economist named Harry Markowitz published an idea so important it later won him a Nobel Prize. It's the exact math almost every pension and index fund on the planet is still built on today. You would assume it took a genius decades of research and supercomputing to come up with this. It didn't. It took one sentence. 3,000 years earlier from someone who had never seen a calculator give a portion to 7 and even to 8, for he did not know what disaster may happen on earth. Ecclesiastics said it first. Spread it out, because you cannot predict what is coming. Markowitz just proved it with math. Call this the 7-portion rule. But let's say the money is no longer locked up in one place. It's invested, spread out, and finally moving. And moving money does something sitting money never did. It gives you something to watch. That's the 4th trap. And it's the quietest one. Not a mistake you make once. A habit you build one glance at a time. Checking the number, adjusting, checking again. Because now, there's actually something to lose. And losing it feels like it's your job to prevent every single day.
In 1 Samuel, King Saul is told one simple thing: wait 7 days, don't do anything until the prophet Samuel arrives. Day 1 pass, day 2, then day 5. By day 7, Samuel still isn't here, and Saul's own army starts running away scared because they think the wait means something has gone wrong. Saul panics. He can't stand it anymore, so he does the one thing he was told never to do himself. He steps in and does it himself. Minutes later, Samuel finally shows up and tells him something brutal. That one moment, not waiting just a bit longer, just cost him his entire kingdom forever. Jesus also describes the opposite of that impatience. The kingdom of God is like a man who scatters seed on the ground. He sleeps, he wakes, day after day, and the seed sprouts and grows, and he doesn't even understand how. The earth produces a crop all by itself. Picture 2 people holding $100,000 each on the same day, same investment, and ordinary stock market index fund, the kind most retirement accounts are built on. Person 1 barely pays attention, doesn't check, doesn't touch it, forgets about it for basically 20 years. Person 2 is the responsible one, checks the account, watches the market, pulls out the second something looks risky, gets back in once it feels safe, actually puts in the work. If you had to guess which one would end up richer, you'd probably say person 2. More effort, more attention, more control. You'd be wrong. 20 years later, the one who did nothing has $670,000. The one who worked at it the whole time has $560,000. Same money, same 20 years, and the responsible one is missing over $100,000, gone from nothing but never leaving it alone. That's the sleeping farmer principle. The seed was fine, the problem was constantly digging. So let's follow the chain all the way back. The slave clause killed the debt, but that left you exposed to a shock with no cushion. The extra oil rule built the cushion, but that exposed you to the temptation of putting it all in one place. The 7-portion rule spread the risks, but that exposed you to the temptation of tinkering. And the sleeping farmer principle got you to finally let it grow. So look at your own money right now and answer honestly, which one of these 4 is already working against you? I know it's a tough question, but we have to ask the tough questions. See you in the next one.